This is fantastic. I want to thank everyone for inviting me to be here. It's always a privilege when Jim and Andrew and Jaron Lauren ask me to participate in an event like this. It's an honor and a privilege. I want to thank you for letting me be here. And I get to talk about my favorite thing again, recruiting with the shopping annuity. And this weekend has blown me away, and I'll tell you why. It was back to basics. Our whole team has always stuck by the basic five. The business has not changed because of the shopping annuity. The shopping annuity has just made it easier to present the business. I believe the shopping annuity is the what's that for the plan. People are like, what is that? Let me show you. What is that? Let me show you. That's what it is. It's the what's that for the business plan. That's why I love it so much. And I love this business because of what people can teach you in it. I've had the honor also of getting to know and become friends with Elizabeth Weber. And one time she sat down with me and showed me letters JR had written to her in the beginning. And he used to write her letters, encouraging her and pushing her forward. And at the end of each one of them, he would say, you have to succeed so others know they can. And after that, he would sign off, I believe in you. I believe in you. And I'm going to tell you all right now, I believe in all of you, probably more than you believe in yourselves, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, every person in here can be a director and above. This business is the equal opportunity employer. Anyone can be great at it. How do I know that? Because in the beginning, I was terrible at it. First 2 years, I was horrible at this. It was my wife, Jody. She was building the business. She used to take me on appointments, and I would sit there like a buffoon. She would kick me under the table and say, would you just say something? You're embarrassing me. I would start talking. She'd say, would you shut up? Shut up. But I got better. I kept going on the appointments. I didn't give up. I stuck in there, and now I'm actually pretty good on the appointments. I'm almost bulletproof. And that's what this is about. But we use the shopping annuity as a tool. And last night at the shopping annuity breakout, it was very interesting because I heard the same theme over and over and over. We're all using the shopping annuity as a lead-off to get people interested in looking at it, weren't we? And I want to thank you guys for those accolades, but I just want to, I'm not that great. I was really bad in the beginning. But we talked a lot this weekend about I think by now you understand you've got to switch your spending over. First and foremost, BV products. Second, we go to IBV with the highest margins, and then you worry about the cash back. Cash back, that's for our customers. I mean, we get it as unfranchised owners, but we're focused on commissions, right? So today I wanted to talk about, I loved the ABC pattern. I love it, because that's how we build a business. HBPs, house to house, in the homes, teaching our people, bringing them with us. I love seeing that. We got to get back to more of that. But then you get a new partner, and after a while, you're going to get a few HBPs when they do their warm market, but then they're going to have to start doing some coffee shop appointments, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, right? We all have to get to that. That's really how we built our business, because I learned that my friends and family were not my warm market. Not at all. I found it was way easier to build this business with people that I didn't know than it was with people I did know. So we had to figure out a way to take the shopping annuity, and that's why I love it as the what's that, and incorporate it in the business. But we've got to switch our spending first. And when I go around, sometimes I hear people say, in other markets, I was recently in Australia, which I love, by the way. Market Australia is a fantastic market. Market Singapore, fantastic market. London, UK. But when you go there, they'll say, well, Carl, you've got it easy in the States because you've got thousands and thousands of partner stores. And it's easy for you to switch your spending over. And I can't argue with them because we do. We have thousands of stores, right? But raise your hands like this for a second, would you? That's how many most of you or less shop at. I shop at about 6 stores that I'm familiar with, that I get familiar with, and that's where I get the majority of my stuff. Would you agree that that's true, Pam? We all pick a few, get comfortable with them, and buy the majority of our stuff from those stores. I would be willing to bet everyone in here is the same. Now, once in a while, you might go, it's nice to have access to all the other stores, but primarily for our essentials, we shop at a couple stores. Fair enough? So if one person in one market can hit the shopping annuity bonus program, I got news for you. Everyone can. We've got to stop thinking that way. That's negative thinking, and it's not true. If one person in Puerto Rico can do it, everybody in Puerto Rico can do it. If one person in Singapore can do it, everybody in Singapore can do it. We've got to just stop doing that and focus on doing it. It's the people that aren't even trying, right, Kevin, we talked about? If they don't think they can do it, they won't even try. But if they try, they'd find they can do it. And then they will duplicate that into their organization, and everyone will do it, and your organizations will explode. It's true. So I love that we got back to the basic 5 this weekend. And I love what Lauren said here on stage the other day, where she said, I hope you heard this loud and clear. You will not be the first person that gets to director and doesn't follow the steps. It isn't going to happen. The steps are the business. That's the system we have for success, isn't it? This business, what sets us apart from everything else is we have a system. If you follow the system, you will be successful. And we all know the basic 5, but my favorite one is this one. Prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. This is a business of building a business and building a network. Most people hate this one in the beginning because they're scared of it. But you can get good at it. So I thought I'd come out here and explain exactly how we book an appointment, get an appointment with someone we don't know, and then how I run through the appointment on my coffee shop appointments to keep it simple for you, and then progress through the pattern. Because I got news for you. I was sitting back here watching JR do the ABC pattern, and I was thinking, we do the same thing in the coffee shops. Nothing changes. So I wanted to just talk about how we do it. First, you need some approaches. You know who knows where I got these approaches from? It's right out of the basic 5. Right out of the basic 5. And they're great. Now, you can use any of them you want. You'd be great at what I do. If I could show you a way to make an extra $300 a week or whatever it is. Have you ever thought of working for yourself? We use all of these. But my wife's got her favorite one is we come up with this one. Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your business options open? She will strike up a conversation. We learned from Elizabeth, become a friend-making machine. Talk to everyone. Just say hello. They'll have a conversation with you. Most people are actually pretty cool. They'll have a conversation, and she'll be talking to him, and she'll in the middle of the conversation, she'll go, wow, you got a great personality. Can I ask you a question? Do you keep your business options open? And they'll usually be like taken back a little bit, and they'll say, yeah, I guess so. And she'll say, great, my husband's expanding a business in the area, and he's looking for key people. I think you'd be dynamite. And she'll call me over and say, Carl, you need to talk to her. And I'll act like she doesn't know I don't know what she's talking about. I'll say, why? She'll say, she's got a great personality. Aren't you expanding in the area? And I'll say, yeah. And she'll say, get her contact information, give her a call. She'd be dynamite. And we'll just get names. We don't understand how people cannot get contacts. People, if you say, write down your contact information, I'll have one of my people call you and set up an appointment. We don't have any people. It's us. We call. But they don't know that, right? So you get the appointment. Pretty easy to get the appointment. Now what are you going to do? I go to the coffee shop. Now I put 2 on 1 here, but I like to bring 3 or 4 people with me on the coffee shop appointment, which freaks my new people out. Because when I tell them I'm going to bring 3 other people with me, I'm going to bring Jackie, Chris, and Tony with me, and the new person's like, wait a minute, they don't even know you're coming to this appointment. That'll freak them out. We'll be ganging up on them, and I know that's what they think. But when I show up, I'll say, oh, I apologize. We have another meeting afterwards. These are some of my business partners. They're just going to sit in with us, okay? And they sit down, and we all sit down, and I'll tell you why I do it. First of all, I'm doing the ABC pattern. I want to teach my other partners what I'm doing, and I want to leverage my time, right? Leverage your time. Plus, why would I go on an appointment and tell someone how we build this fantastic business with a team, but I'm by myself? It doesn't make any sense. Plus, I love what Jim Winkler talked about. He said, Jim uses flip chart. Jim said, if you heard him on stage, I still do. And so do I. I do not pull out a PowerPoint, even though I have my computer. I do not do a PowerPoint at a coffee shop. And I'll tell you why. If I sat down and did an hour-long, you can't jump over slides or people think you're hiding something, right, Andrew? So if you sit at a coffee shop and do an hour-plus long PowerPoint presentation, the person you're showing it to is like, holy crap, would I have to do this? I couldn't remember all that. I'd be scared to death to do this. I pull out the flip chart, just like Jim said. It works beautifully. So here's how I started off. I do the appointment by talking about the shopping annuity. And I break the ice by saying, we're going to talk about some terms today that you might not have heard of. You ever heard of shopping annuity? They always say no. Then I'll act like I'm going to think, and I'll say, well, I don't know, what would be the easiest way to explain it? If you were going to buy a new TV, what would your process be? I use my TV analogy. They tell me they'd research it, then they'd go price shop it, and they'd buy it at the store they had it for the cheapest price. I'll say, great. What if I could show you a way where you get the same TV at the same store for less money, but now instead of the money being spent, you turn it into an investment? They always say yes. The reason I do that first is now I've got their interest. They're interested. Would you agree? So now I simply pull out my laptop and I show them shop.com. All I'm trying to explain shop.com is a sophisticated tracking system. Just like Amazon, but we're a sophisticated tracking system, thousands of stores. We can track it. Now we can pull the profit margin out. So now they understand where the money comes from. Do you understand? Now I've got them paying attention. Now I pull out my handy dandy flip chart and I do an abbreviated plan that I can go through briefly. You know why? They're not going to understand it all anyways the first time. I'm just trying to do one thing, and I'll show you what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get them to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 3. So when I'm done with the flip chart, I'll say, I'd like you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 3. 1 would be you're not interested, which means I didn't explain it right, so I'll start over. And that's what they do. They laugh. No, and I say, I'm just kidding, but I will. Now, it's like Ryan and them. No, it's like Ryan Stack said. He goes, my job is to make them feel foolish not to do this. Because I agree, Jim, we talked about it in Puerto Rico. The only good reason for someone not to do this is they don't understand it. It costs them more not to do it, right? You have to believe this. So I say that, and there's a reason I say it. No one will say 1 when you say that. And all I'm trying to do is get them to a 2 or above. So then I'll say 2 is you're interested, but you didn't understand it all. I went through it quickly. You probably need more information because God bless you if you understood all this. Nobody understands it. You have to be the smartest man in the world to understand it. We have a way to get around that. But don't worry. Same spiel. But I'm just trying to get them to a 2 or above. So I'll say you need more information. If you're a 2, we'll book a follow-up, get back together. A 3 would be you love what you see, you don't see that much to think about, we can get started right now. Where would you rate yourself? And if you're a 1, you will not hurt my feelings, but I will start over. If you've ever been at an appointment, I say this, it's the same every single time. You know what they say? 2.5. I'll say, okay, so you need more information. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a video that's going to explain this business plan we just went over. You'll get it the second or third time through. I'm going to send you some information on the company, marketamerica.com or whatever market you're in, so that they can do some research on the company. You watch the stuff. We'll get back together within the next 48 hours. I'll answer your questions. If you like what we see, we'll get you started. Set your account up. How's that sound? They say yes. I reach out, shake their hand, and say, welcome to the team. Once they shake my hand, guess what? Psychologically, they're in. They already made the decision. They don't even know it. That is how simple this is, and people overcomplicate it. If you've been on an appointment, Al, you've been on an appointment. I do it that way every time. I show the HBP the same way, lead off the same way. We do it the same every time, and it works beautifully. We've duplicated in our team. We're doing the same thing, and that's why we're seeing consistent growth. And that's what we do. It is literally that simple. And then I pull out the Getting Started guide, which I never register a partner before I go through the Getting Started guide, so that they know what to expect from me, and I know what I can expect from them, and they're willing to buy a ticket to the next event, and they're going to be a coachable UFO. And that's all we're looking for, right, Tom? You know, everyone asks me sometimes why I do what I do, because they're like, you're all over the place. You're flying here, you're flying there. So I wanted to share with you today why I did it. About 2 years ago, because this puts a stress on my family, me being gone all the time. It's tough for my kids when I'm gone doing this. And I wanted to explain to you why I do it. 2 years ago, Andrew, I was in New York City with you, and we were doing some trainings. And about 11 o'clock at night, it was finally time to eat dinner. I don't know how these guys roll, but that's the way they roll. And it was JR, Andrew, and myself, the three of us. I had the privilege and honor to go out to dinner with. And Andrew got up, and I'll never forget this, JR. You might not remember this. JR talks to me and he goes, Carl, I want to tell you something. He goes, over the years, I've had some pretty wild ideas. And I believed they'd all work. And most of them did. Some of them were a little ahead of their time, but I believed they would work, and most of them did. But as sure as I'm sitting here, I'm going to tell you right now, I know the shopping annuity is the answer. And I made a promise to him that I would push this agenda till we made this a household word. The problem is we need to do it with the UFOs first so that you understand what it is. It's the business. The shopping annuity is Market America, Market Australia, Market Taiwan, Market Hong Kong. It is the business. That's all he's saying. I'm telling you, you said it the other day, Lauren, when you did your address. There's so much negative stuff. You turn on the news today, you want to cry. People killing each other, cops getting killed, people running over people with trucks, mass murders, everything. We can change the world with the shopping annuity. Let's unite this world. Who's with me? Come on, we got to go out and do this.
What an absolute honor to get to share the stage with so many amazing people right after Carl Eklund, watching from afar for a long time. What you're going to learn as I'm listening to Carl, there is not really one way to grow your business. If there's nothing, as I'm listening to him back there, because my avenue is a little bit different, but really the stories are all the same. It gets us to the same result. So I am Julie, thank you. I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota. I love my group that is here. We may be little, but we are powerful, I have to tell you. So hello, I could sing to you in Adele, but I'm getting a little bit hoarse here. So as I said, I'm from Bismarck. I've owned my unfranchised business for 5 years. The most amazing 5 years, let me tell you. When they make you write out a 5-year goal, if you've ever had to do that, financial-wise, business-wise, your will, whatever it may be, I would have never put myself here 5.5 years ago, let me tell you, because I was not a very happy nor healthy person. Knew nothing about Market America, had never heard of isotonics, never heard of TLS, didn't know I could stand on a stage and talk, anything like that. Now, my husband probably could have told you I could stand on a stage and talk, but not so much me. I have to say, I hope you had some magic moments this weekend, because I have to tell you, I sure did. I could not have been more honored this weekend. Reasons you come to, for one is coming to convention. So I have to say, my talk is on recruiting. I don't call myself a recruiter. If I've heard anything this weekend, what we do is we build belief, is what it is. You build belief. Belief just kind of moves into the next segment then of recruiting. So I find myself to be the least recruiter, but something's working, I guess I have to say. So I'm very thankful for the accolades I received this weekend. For one, it validates for me for what I'm doing, it validates for what we're doing in North Dakota, but it for everybody should validate what we're doing at keeping the world a healthier place, is what it should be doing. So this is really the model for me of recruiting and building our business. We are making new friends. It's relationship marketing. I actually saw this in the airport leaving convention 2 years ago in the Greensboro airport. It's up on a wall in red. And I'm like, this is exactly, have we met before? Why, no, I don't believe we have. You're gonna love us, because I love what we do. And you're gonna love us, because if you're not gonna have people that you love to do things with, it's not really worth it. Then it's a job. Who needs another job? God knows I don't. I don't. So I had the pleasure a couple weeks ago of being at Beep and speaking at Beep. And Kevin Buckman happened to be there. Kevin, these are your notes that I wrote down in my little book. So as Kevin was up talking, and I'm still like thinking about what I'm going to talk about, these were the notes that I wrote in my book as Kevin was talking, because it was validating because we all need validation of what we're doing. I mean, we question every day. If you don't think anybody on this stage questions what they do from day to day when people are questioning you, you're wrong, because we all go through it. So you have to go to things, because sometimes you have to build the belief in yourself as much as other people, because you can't recruit anybody into anything that you don't believe yourself. It is what it is. So what Kevin had said was, do what has a high rate of return. Because as my business has grown the last couple of years, time is extremely important, and you cannot get it back. And as Carl said, I'll talk about with family, it does get harder to travel. My family, they're not always happy when I'm gone from home. It is what it is. And so I've come to the point where you need to do things that have a high rate of return. The best bang for my buck with my time that I'm spending. There is absolutely no reason to bring people into the business if they are not going to use your product. If you are not on OPC, you should not be my business partner. You shouldn't even be in the arena. I mean, and if you're a guest, please get on it. There's no reason to do that, because it's if you didn't hear anything the last couple of days, how many people started their business with OPC? It is life-changing. And people will believe it when they see that. Kevin said it. You can tell people whatever you want they're supposed to believe in and do, but until they actually experience it and believe it themselves, there's nothing that's going to happen from that. Nothing. They have to do it themselves. I didn't make this up, but I did in my head. But our products will make us healthy. Our business plan will make us wealthy. I sound like I created something great. But this is exactly how, because I am a nurse practitioner. by practice, and I'm still a nurse practitioner because some people think since I opened a business, they're like, oh, don't you, something about leaving nurse practitioner. No, I'm still a nurse practitioner. That's what Market America does. It's a platform for you to build your passion on. I didn't leave nurse practitioner. No one left being a makeup artist. No one left being a chiropractor. You're just building on your passion. So our products are going to make us healthy. But let me tell you, boy, this person who never understood the business plan in the beginning, this business plan will make us wealthy. They're both extremely important. However, most people, the business plan is like the last thing I share with people because I'm not going to run after people and show a business plan because I didn't even understand the business plan. How would I understand it to share it? So, but it all begins with you. I'm just going to tell you, God, don't you hate pictures of yourself from the past? So as I was making this PowerPoint, when Jim and Andrew called me, oh, don't you love those new memories on Facebook pictures that pop up? That stupid picture on the right popped up that same day. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do it. Because you gotta remember where you came from. So this was me in 2010. I had torn my ACL, was not healing very well, unhealthy, lots of inflammation in my body, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that we can, help with other things. And so, but you have to remember where you came from because I've not always been like this. People think that, oh, this is, it's so easy for you because you're a nurse practitioner. No, I was an unhealthy person just like everybody else in the world looking for something. And if someone would have came up to me and told me about a business plan, I probably wouldn't have listened because I was in too much pain to care. So this was me a couple of years ago. And then this happened. Have you seen the pattern? Lisa Hoynes, I love you, my sponsor, who we had a coffee date. It's Bone Shaker Coffee in Bismarck. Went there, and I'm sure, now you hear it. I was on her prospect list. You know that. We're all on each other's prospect list because we do want to grow a business. It's just how are you going to do it? And she was nervous about this nurse practitioner she was meeting with, all these things. And what do I say to her? And she called Pam Torgerson. What do I say to her? And you know what she did? The number one thing. I walked in, and I was limping. I had a very significant limp. And Lisa asked me why I was limping. She didn't show me no business plan, nothing. And I started crying, explained to her about it. We went into it. I think she showed me the portal. I don't remember. All I know is she got me a bottle of OPC. That's all I remember. I didn't even know there was a business plan. I didn't. And so, let me go back a second. So I didn't even know there was a business plan. So over this time when I opened my business, I have to tell you that as a medical person, when I was going with her to meetings, because I did open a business not understanding it, because I believed something changed my life. I had the passion of the product, not really understanding the business plan. And so when I would go to these meetings, I asked if I can say this up here, but when you use the term BV to a health professional for the first 2 months when I was going to the meetings, I finally was like, Lisa. To a health professional who works in an emergency room, women's health, and I used to do sexual assault exams on rape victims, BV stands for bacterial vaginosis. I'm going to tell you. It is what it is. Google it if you don't know what it is. So for the first 2 months, I'd be like, why does she keep talking about bacterial vaginosis? Even though I knew she wasn't talking about that. But it didn't matter because I believed in the product. It didn't matter. And I was building a business and I didn't even know what BV stood for. So if you have the passion of it, because, going back wrong way, sorry. So the thing is, what you can do is if you have belief in the product, you can build the business with not even knowing what the words mean. However, if you understand the business plan, but you never use the product, you don't believe in the product, and you never change the world with the product, you're not going to grow a business. The two have to go together. So, thank you. So, again, over the whole weekend here, yesterday being the most powerful, if you got nothing more from yesterday, your health is your wealth. You can have all the money you want in the world, you can have all the pin levels you want, you can triple flush, whatever is going on. But if you're not healthy, and your family's not healthy, and your friends are not healthy, we're at a loss. This is my platform. And so there's different platforms. Shopping is there's different ones. There's no one that's wrong. This is just what has worked for me because every person has a body. Everybody has either children or family members who they're trying to stay healthy. That's what we live for. These are our goals that we write when we want more money, is to have a happier and healthier family. This is my bean jar. This is the bean jar. Because the goal with Market America is to get as many, and I heard JR say yesterday, to get as many people in front of the business plan as possible. Or introduce them to the business. Only the qualified people actually need to see the business plan. If they're not going to use the products and build the business, there's no reason to necessarily show everybody the business plan. But this is how I introduce people to Market America and what we have with it. My number one ones being Wellness 101s and TLS. I can say that we have changed a lot of lives in North Dakota, and I know throughout this arena with TLS and Wellness 101s. Never underestimate the power of a daily essentials kit. Don't underestimate it. Don't. Ruth Shadler in the audience, she's one of the nuts. Sorry, Ruth. Kristen's a nut. Ruth started with a 7-day detox. She did not care about a business, and life was not so good for her at that point. We started with a 7-day detox. A year and a half later, she's a master coordinator, hit the TLS challenge. I could go on and on and on, and has lost 135 pounds with TLS. I could have preached about a business plan to Ruth for days on end, just like Lisa could have preached about a business plan to me. Wouldn't have heard a single thing because we were lost in our misery of our life. But I am educated and empowered her to change her life. There's really not much anybody can say to her to change her belief in Market America. It is what it is. So I highly recommend, and the thing is, I know people are like, I'm not interested in wellness. That is perfectly fine if you're not. But I'm gonna promise you the 10-foot rule, everybody around you is. If you think they're not, they are. And we talk about relationship building. There's no better way to relationship build with somebody when you're sitting there talking about their digestive health, or you're spending 12 weeks in a TLS class with them. You have one-on-one with me every week. Do you get one-on-one with even your business partners every week? No, because they're all so busy. This way you have people that you have to sit with every week for 12 weeks. That is the best way. And you know what happens when this happens? They recruit me. They ask me, can I do this with you? Can I coach TLS? Can I do, it is what it is. And that is how I feel like with the wellness, it works like that. Because I don't want to recruit people and make them feel like, try to explain to them or why they should be doing this. I want them to know why they're doing it and come to me and ask to do it. So these are the websites that I use on a daily basis, have to tell you. A little bit on social media and things. Be happy, smile. I cannot tell you enough, please have a positive social media presence. You can say what you want. You can say it's my own personal life. I can do what I want in my private time, blah, blah, blah. You own a business. You own an international business. People are watching you. If you think they're not, you're fooling yourself. Trust me. And would you partner with you? Would you send someone to a TLS class and trust them? It's no different than would I send someone to a business presentation in another city. It's the same thing with wellness. Do you trust these people? Would you partner with you? Think really hard about that. Another way to do recruiting, moving up seminars. The obvious one is, how do you make calls? That's an obvious one, because then I was terrified to go because Jim was going to make me call people. And I did, and I was terrified, and I got new business partners out of it. But that wasn't the main thing. One of these things is belief. Sometimes the belief has to be in yourself. You can't recruit other people if you don't believe. During this time, yes, people in general were like, what are you doing? It's the middle of winter in North Dakota, and you're on a yacht somewhere. That's great. That's recruiting right there. That is recruiting. If you live in the north, that's recruiting when you're in Miami on a yacht. However, during this time, I was going through one of my most difficult times that I've had in the last couple of years as being an independent health provider. No one knew it because I don't blast it all over social media, because I'm not going to share negative things. This was one of the smaller ones they've ever had. I know they almost canceled it. Thank you for not canceling it. It was life-changing to me. It was life-changing because it built exactly what I needed into the next level of my recruiting and sharing and just the business. So don't underestimate those. A healthier family is a happier family. Now, nowhere am I promoting any football team, just gonna say, at all. Don't boo, hiss, anything like that. This is my family, my husband, my boys Landon and Triton, my daughter Jordan. I'm a fan of my daughter. She's a Minnesota Vikings cheerleader. She's also an unfranchised owner, and she's also my mini motives queen. So I'm going to say just things like that. As a happier family, we are much, it's much healthier. And I know I'm a little over, but I would say, because the shopping part is big too. Because 4 years ago, in 2012, I came to my first convention in Miami. And my husband at that, when I came home, and you know how when you get home from a convention, you're like so excited, and you come in, and here my husband had changed all the Snap products. He'd taken them all out and put like Tide and crap in there. And I was like mortified, and I went, I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, well, this stuff doesn't smell the way I want it to, blah, 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 all these things. And and you're so pumped, and I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? And when I get back from convention, a couple weeks ago, let me tell, because sometimes you have to make the belief in your household too, which you guys talked about yesterday. A couple weeks ago, my husband yells out of the bathroom, hey, lover, did you order the toilet paper yet from drugstore this week? The world has changed, let me tell you. So it starts with from the inside out, your family. So I have to say, if you're looking for any change in your business, anything, it starts with you. You are the biggest promoter of your own business, of Market America. I could not be more thankful for Market America for building the passion that I love. Each of us has the power to do that with what we have with the products and the business plan. Thank you so much. I hope you had an amazing weekend.
First of all, a round of applause for you guys, because when JR said successful people do the things that other people don't do, you guys being here on Sunday morning like this, seriously, everybody, big round of applause for each other. That's amazing. I am so impressed and so inspired. You're taking that extra step, and that's great. So what we're going to talk to you about really quickly today is the next generation of unfranchised owners, which has been 10 times more powerful than ever before for our business. So in the last 6 months, since January, our group has grown by over 70 new people. And yeah, and the thing about it is those people that have joined our team in the last 6 months are growing. They're sponsoring 4 to 6 people. They're hitting the SABP. They're retailing. They're getting to the events. This is the first time we didn't actually have to ask anybody to buy their tickets to the next event. They just did it. And the difference is that they are joining this business now when, honestly, I feel like the company's vision has never been more clear than it is today. Do you guys agree with that? So they come on. We acquired Shop.com 5-6 years ago or something like that. And there was this group of unfranchised owners that thought, oh, I'm just gonna, get rich on 1% IBV. I'm not gonna buy my own products. I'm not gonna recruit. I'm not gonna go to the events. You know what I'm talking about? And it doesn't work like that. The reason why Pam and Tony and Elizabeth and Lisa and Yardley and all of these guys made so much money so fast and hit direct in a year, do you wanna know how they did it? 2 letters, BV, BV. And so the shopping annuity brings the focus back to the BV. Use your own products. This is what happens when you use your own products. You sell more of them. You recruit easier, like Julie just said. Right. So what we want to talk to you about is how recruiting has become easier because of the shopping annuity. So what you're seeing up there is our little kiddos, actually. Our older son plays football. It's a huge community. I mean, we have hundreds of kids that play in the team, and their families are connected. Our son's team has 11 coaches on their own. And on the bottom, you see my little guy, and he's a dancer and a gymnast, and that's another one. There's over 300 families at our dance studio. And oh, by the way, I had to throw that up there. You see that, Dennis? Dennis coaching our kids' football team because this company is amazing.
He has a lot of free time, so he was like, sure, I'll come down.
Nothing like that, right? So here's the point. How many people have massive networks that maybe you haven't tapped into because this is a business, right? It's a business. And you think about people and you're like, oh, well, they don't have the time, or they think they don't have the time, or they don't think they can sell, or they don't think they can recruit, or they don't think they can get their people to the event. And so they talk themselves out of the business before you even show them the plan, right? So the thing is the shopping annuity makes it for anybody because they're already spending money. And so I think, honestly, the biggest reason our team has grown, Ryan, is because we don't show them the plan first. We show them the shopping annuity first in 10 minutes. And here's why. Because when they see the shopping annuity, they think to themselves, I'm already spending the money. So then when they see the plan, they're not sitting there going, I don't know if I can sell this. I don't know if I can create the BV. Where are the customers going to come from? Where's the business volume going to come from? Where are the people going to come from? They're already thinking, I can do this. Why? Because I'm already what? Spending it. I'm already spending it. So when you show the plan, it's not their first look. Their first look is the shopping annuity. You know what that is in sales? It's addressing the objection before you get it. So when they sit down and see the plan, they already know they're spinning it.
And you realize that eliminates, JR said it so many times, when we led with the business first, you get everything. I don't have the money. I don't have the time, because they're finding Pokemon. They have all the reasons why they don't, right? But they're just distracted. It's actually nothing having to do with that. But when you lead with this, and there's a better way to do what they're already doing, and they can build an asset from it, they don't have the ability to say that anymore. Who do you want to spend more or spend less? Do you want to earn nothing or earn something? And all of a sudden, it's not a business choice. There's no objection. It's, well, I got to do this. How do I do it?
And what we want to show you real quick, and just because literally over 70 new partners since January, but I want to show you the quality of partner. The fact that they're not just, hey, I'm doing the shopping annuity, I'm buying from myself. They understand the multiplier, the fact that it's not just about them, but about getting other people to do it too. So this is one of our son Jordan's coaches, Rob Bernard. He started his business in January, in 13 weeks, hit executive, personally sponsored 6 people, hit the SABP in his first quarter. So here's the difference. You have a new person sponsoring 6 before like the year's even half over, hitting the SABP, yet you have people like that have been in this business for 10 years talking about, I can't do this? Totally different quality of unfranchised owner, right?
And by the way, he wasn't on a names list. He wasn't even on our radar.
He stalked Ryan's videos.
Yeah, and he eventually he found us on Facebook, and he goes, do you guys hate me?
That's exactly what he
Because
said.
how come you didn't tell me about this? You like me spending more? And he just became all,
And he
whatever.
led to another football coach, Mike Williams, who it took him 16 weeks to hit executive. He personally sponsored 5. Now, by the way, he started in like February, hit the SABP his first quarter, was here, got his 3 tickets, doing all the right business things, not just buying from himself, who led to Heidi and Tim, 3 weeks to hit coordinator. Do you see the difference? Why? Because Pioneers created what again? What did they create again? BV, and that's what the shopping annuity is doing for us. Personally sponsored 4, hit the SABP in her first quarter. Jackie Smith, 7 weeks, coordinator, personally sponsored 4. Are you guys seeing a pattern? It's hitting the SABP.
This
It's
is all the
recruiting.
same organization, by the way.
Same
Rob
one.
to Mike to Heidi to Jackie. And
This
you
one
have
is
Karen.
amazing. Karen hit it in 5, personally sponsored 4. Here's the best part. You know how with the SABP, there's a cutoff date that you have to get those numbers in by? She started her business, hit the SABP with only 4 weeks to go.
She corrected us last night. It was 3 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was 3 weeks. But here's
Exactly.
something, obviously you got to take from this. It took us forever to do these numbers.
It did.
We were so slow. I mean, embarrassing.
It is.
Well, maybe it was your fault, but I don't know. It wasn't my fault. But here's the thing. I hope us as a company and as leaders, we stop trying to convince and drag and question and doubt, and we raise our standards to say, this is the business. There's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's
Come
about.
on. Come on now. Exactly. Guys, I'll tell you what, our first 3 years in the business, we didn't have the money to spend on the products because we were young. We didn't have the money. We saved so much money that it cost us 3 years of making money. You get it? When you don't use your own products, you have no experience with those products. You don't sell it. You don't recruit. You don't do anything. And I just feel like the shopping annuity really just focuses what we should be doing so we can make money faster and not make those mistakes.
By the way, they didn't know a basic 5. They never went to a new unfranchised owner training. They didn't go to convention. And they did better than most people.
It's amazing.
You get it?
What we want to tell you is how do you do that? So the big difference for us this year with recruiting was, again, I'm going to say it again, we don't show the plan first. We share the shopping annuity first so that they go into the plan going, oh, I'm already doing this. I can do this. I can do this. They turn an I can't into an I can. And so what I want to do is talk to you about how to do that. By the way, that's our little guy, Ethan. He is a shopping annuity. He doesn't do anything that's not online. I mean, look at him. We are not bad parents. We have, he thinks he's drinking mocha tonic because I promise it's just hot cocoa. We're not giving our 8-year-old caffeine like that. Yeah, woo! So, when you're talking to people, you want to get them to believe they can do it, right? So they don't understand the business yet. They don't understand what the shopping annuity is. They don't understand. So one of the things we found that really works is to talk about things that are happening now, so that, again, you're addressing the concern before it's there. So you sit down and show the plan, and I'm already spending it. When you say, look, we are shifting as an economy from physical distribution to virtual, and you say, hey, did you notice 6,000 stores closed last week? They don't think you're crazy anymore because they just saw it, right? Learn to talk in themes. How many people have heard that audio, talking in themes? It's an old audio. Listen to it, because if you can do that, you can recruit like crazy. What else is changing there, Rice?
Mass marketing. So before big stores could pay to get the attention on them, and we never had a shot. And that is totally upside down now, where big stores can't get the attention, but you and I can. Average adult spends over 5.1 hours a day. 52% of their time on social media. They don't even use this, what is this called again? A phone? They don't even use it for a phone. How many people get mad when your phone rings? It's a phone.
It's a phone, and you get mad when it's ringing because you're using it.
But we can be there. You can be on the screen, where the mass big companies, they don't have the ability to do what you and I can, so the power moved to us versus them.
The other big change is there is a shift from employee to entrepreneur. And as a company, we say these things, but again, this is in the news, so I just think it really affects your ability to talk and start a conversation, because you can't show someone the plan without having these conversations. How many 1099s were filed last year?
91 million 1099 forms, the highest in recorded history, which tells you that stores are failing, going to virtual, mass marketing is done, it's now our marketing, and people are giving up being an employee to being self-employed, which comes to our world.
They're
We got it.
looking for this. They need this. So now, by the time you've sat down with a new person that's looking at this, you've addressed all kinds of objections. I'm already spending the money. Wow, this isn't so weird working from home. Everybody's switching to virtual. Oh, you know what? Everybody does social media marketing, and I'm not the only one that isn't out there looking for a job. There's 91 million people that are not looking for jobs, that are doing Uber, that are doing other things to supplement their income. So, know how to talk about the shopping annuity. And I feel like this diagram is really powerful. It's not fancy. We should probably make it look better. But Ryan, if you could just I think you stole this from Carl, right? This concept. Why don't you go ahead and walk him through that then?
All right. So totally, plagiarized from Carl. So thank you, Carl, wherever you are. But I realized simple's better. So we wanted to start duplicating what Carl was doing and sell this idea before we go into the plan. This is what we show. This is what we explain. You can explain it or you can show it, but I'd rather people know how to do it. This is the old way we all buy stuff. So you say, whether you're online doing this or you're in a store, aren't we all in a cart or at checkout? All individuals, remember JR said that, keep them separate so they get the money, we don't. We then hope that it's the best price. Are you with me? Willingly give all of our money to the store. They make a profit because they bought it cheaper than they sold it to you. They give you the expensive product. You leave.
That's the old way. Isn't that true? You give your money, you get a product, you leave. Isn't that true?
And then you say, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're not talking about being an entrepreneur and scaring them. We're saying we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference is these 4 people at checkout own a shopping annuity. They have this. Now they're going to go buy that product. You with me? They're going to price compare. We're going to get them the lowest price. We're not going to trust the vendor.
By the way, they're going to save the money on gas because they're not going to be in this physical line. It's going to be online.
Once we get the best price, Shop Buddy, all the coupon deals, then we give them that profit. They give us a product, same thing, but that store then cuts a piece of their profit and gives it back to the consumer. Already better, true? Already better.
Already better.
That alone, might as well have it. Then the shopping annuity, a portion of the profit from them, IBVBB, gets shared, and you get paid twice on the same thing you just bought. But guess what? Because we're all economically connected, the person behind you in line gets a paycheck. The person behind them and behind them. You leave the store, second person, same thing, same thing, same thing.
Come on.
What are they going to say? I don't want to sell. I don't have time.
They're buying it anyway.
I don't have money. It's done. Once they see this, they go, that's better. If you can get that agreement, this is better, you have them.
I just feel like if people understood those 2 slides, the business plan, you don't even have to show it to them. That's just the way they get paid. It's just the method of how they're going to be compensated for doing that. And the choice is I can give my store the money and get nothing, or I can give my store the money and they're going to give me a little bit back, and they're going to pay everybody else that I lead to as well. Isn't that powerful? Come on.
Come on now.
So, we're going to skip that one. All right, 2 quick things because we're running out of time. This is really important. When you actually get them on board, there's really 2 things I feel that's the most important thing to train on. The first one is the return on investment. When I spend $100 on my website, I'm looking for the most and the highest return on that $100, right, Marty? You're a margins guy. So I'm gonna look for a BV product first because I'm getting 80% BV. So what's your first point of business? To look for what? Great. For everything else, I'm going IBV direct because they're going to give me on average 20% IBV, and that's higher than what the partner stores are going to give us, right? And we have one called Marketplace, which is like a Costco. You can get anything. So I'm going to go where first? And where am I going second? Perfect. For everything else, I'm going to go to a partner store because I'm going to get a good price. I'm going to get cash back. I'm going to get 1 to 10% IBV. So where am I going first? Where am I going second? Where am I going third? Exactly. And now most of your people are building their shopping annuity in reverse, and that's why they're not getting results faster because they're starting with the smallest margin. You need to start with the BV.
Yep. Carl said it. We don't need a lot of stores. If you shopped at 4 of the direct stores, that would be 54%. And we would go through the roof with IBV. We already have it. It's already as big as BV. We just have to do it.
And you guys, I just want to say again, the shopping annuity makes it so anyone can do this. So all those networks that you've been holding off on, or they think they don't have the time, or they don't have the recruiting skills, or they don't have the selling skills, or they don't have the people, or the money, or the this, or the that, you're spending it anyway. Anybody can do this. It's changed our lives. We're looking forward. JR, you and Lauren said this yesterday. These people, this whole corporate team, they're not motivated by money anymore. You want to know what they're motivated by? Philanthropy. They want to change the world, and we want to change it with them.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.